you all so much for coming this evening on this gorgeous summer Friday night. I know they're fleeting, so I really appreciate all of you coming out. For those of you that don't know, I'm Shirley Verico. I am the Director of Visual Arts and Curator here at Buffalo Arts Studio. We are a 20,000 square foot not-for-profit art center. I do see a lot of new faces, so I am going to introduce the organization a little bit. We have a three-pronged mission here. We have safe and affordable studio space for working artists. You are welcome to go back and look in the studios. And could I just ask, could the studio artists just raise their hands? I see there's a few of them here tonight. We've got about, I think there's a few more. No, I saw Kathy, Sharon, I saw a few. Part of what makes us special is this is a place where you can peek in and see artists at work in their studios. And we have relationships here. We say often at Buffalo Art Studio, it's not transactional here, it's relationship-based. So that's part of our mission. The second part is that we have a vibrant education program. And those classes serve adult and youth. And when does our next session open, Lauren? September 4th. So we have day and evening classes. We have classes for adults and for youth. And of course, the air conditioner kicks on. Lastly, we have 3 galleries where we present work by contemporary artists, most of whom are local, but we do bring in an artist or two from out of town once or twice a year. And Buffalo Art Studio, our other mantra is we are a community of artists, artists for the community. And that community includes other galleries, it includes other arts organizations. And what we're presenting here tonight is an example of our commitment to community. Sarah Jane Berry is an artist who was scheduled to present this exhibition at Box Gallery. For those of you that don't know, Box Gallery was a space that's part of our hostel. Buffalo had an amazing gem here on Main Street, a hostel which was an affordable and safe place for visitors to come in the heart of Buffalo, in our theater district. They could stay, they could experience some of the best of Buffalo, which is of course our neighborly spirit, but also our creativity. There was an art gallery there and a performance space. Unfortunately, and perhaps a better word might be tragically, this space was closed, and it was closed abruptly by the city of Buffalo, and that left not only the community of that space in the lurch, but it also left a couple artists without a space to show their work. So back in May, we showed Bree Gilliam in this space in a beautiful show. And then working with JP, we were also able to offer Sarah a space to show her work. That's really the heart of what Buffalo Art Studio is about. It's about creating a space, it's about making room for community, and it's about welcoming. So thank you to all of you that are here today. I also have to say a quick thank you to our sponsors. This is part of M&T Fourth Friday at Tri-Main, so thank you, M&T Bank. Always a generous sponsor for all that we do here. We also have a number of other sponsors, Erie County, New York State Council for the Arts, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Oshai Foundation, the Jane and Cameron Baird Foundation, and then the Warhol Foundation. These are the people that make it possible for all of us to stand here, to have lights on, to have garbage bags, to have cheese and crackers, but also to have a team that can support our community. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Sarah. We do call this an artist introduction. I say 5 or 6 minutes. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. But I think what's exciting about our space is also the conversation in the community. So once you see who Sarah is, if you have questions or you're interested, engage her in a conversation. If you're interested in purchasing a work or learning more about Buffalo Art Studio, I do want to just introduce the team. So I'm Shirley Verico, Director of Visual Arts. We have Alma Carreo, our Executive Director. Sydney Oshai, who is our Development and Special Ed Events Coordinator. And we have Lauren McLaughlin, who's crouching down here. She is our Operations Manager and our Technology Goddess. So she is running the camera today. So thank you all for coming, and welcome, Sarah. This has been a real treat to get to know you and the work.
Hi, everyone. like a lot of artists, I'm not crazy about talking in a mic, but I want to thank everyone here so much for coming. And if you read my artist statement, I'm okay. Like, I'm doing great. Not sad at all anymore. So most of this work was made this summer. My whole entire apartment has been torn apart since like probably May. There's plaster everywhere, and so I did a lot of this work in my bedroom because it's the only place where I have a window air conditioning system. So just so you know, most of this was made in one little strange room. I don't have a ton to say. If anyone has any questions about anything, I'd be happy to answer them. Any questions? Yeah, it's Marshall.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
A lot of things. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of it's like kind of like sea life and sea creatures, but also just it's very emotional. Like sometimes I kind of just sit down and zone out and see what comes out. So, yes.
Who are artists that inspired you?
I really like Gaudi, who did the Sagrada Familia. I'm obsessed with Frida Kahlo, so you know some of the emo sad stuff kind of is connected to that. There's so many. I'm trying to think right now. I really like Hilma F. Klint. A lot of tend to gravitate more towards female artists. I love Marisol, who's in the Albert Knox right now. She's like top 5. So yes.
Can you talk about how dragon plays into your as a thread through your work?
Yeah.
The title of the show.
Yeah, so that's from a Rilke, not necessarily a poem. He's a poet, but it was a letter he wrote to like another young poet. And the quote is that like perhaps the dragons in our lives are like basically like an obstacle that you can beat, and not really explaining it well, but just like as a metaphor for like kind of dealing with your own pain and your own struggles. And so they're very heavily in the show, and also sunflowers are in the show a lot because they're a sign of resilience, and I just kind of can relate to them. So anyone else have questions? Oh, yes, Catherine.
What's your process?
It's definitely like more meditative. I tend to sit down and put some music on and just kind of see where the work goes, which is hard for me because I used to be very like rigid with anything I painted, and I wanted everything to look perfect. So it took like years of working as an artist to get to a point where I can be as loose as I am in a lot of these. So, anyone else? Oh, yeah.
When did you start doing little animals and faces in your stuff?
Probably a few years ago. I just kind of like saw them pop up and was like, maybe I'll just throw a little face or like a mouth in here, and kind of just kind of became part of my style. So, yes.
This is about your process as well. It looks like you use different media at different times. What takes you in one direction or another on any given day or Saturday?
Yeah, I get kind of bored doing the same thing, and I've always like wanted to expand and just see what else I can do. The newest thing that I did in the show is these little plaster, like Pee Wee Herman looking creatures. I like to just kind of play around with my style and see where I can take it beyond just 2D art. So, anyone else? Oh, thanks for coming. Catherine from the hostel is going to just talk really, really quick. Oh, good. Hello.
Oh, wow, it is so nice to see so many of you. You know, I don't really have too much to say about the hostel because Shirley, I think you really covered our plight and just how appreciative we are of all the people that show up. So I guess I'll just use this time to say it's really nice to see you. And I think the reason spaces like BSA and the hostel are so important, and the reason we encourage you to, you know, keep following and supporting the local artist community is it's just spaces and places like this, like seeing your faces, not trying to rhyme, but like, you know, it's just, it's good to keep us together. So please keep following us, and can we just give a big round of applause for just all the people that have filled the hostel, and especially Sarah. I mean, Sarah's just... You're a wonderful person and artist, and we hope this day is about you. So thank you for helping us support the hostel with your time, and thank you to BSA for having us. So stay tuned, everybody, and thank you. Talk to us after.
All right, and thank you so much. One of the things I do want to add to the conversation about the hostel that I think is a larger conversation is we have to pay attention to the ecosystem. All of us that are here are part of this larger creative ecosystem. And when we lose a space like Box, it may not seem like a lot to those on the outside, but it is an enormous loss to this larger ecosystem. I would not have seen Sarah's work were it not for Box. I know that there are many of you here that have shown there. We have to pay attention, and I really implore all of you to pay attention to what is happening to our ecosystem. Buffalo Art Studio is very plugged in to social justice, economic justice, environmental justice. We have to look inward and apply that to our ecosystem as well. So I really encourage you all, as we are certainly celebrating Sarah, and not to diminish that, but to think about what we all can do to support the emerging artists. I see some of our Jumpstart students that have graduated here. I see former interns here. We have former interns working the bar. They are over 21 now. That's what nurturing an ecosystem looks like. It doesn't just look like a glamorous space on a hill. It's about what's happening on the ground, it's about what's happening with our young people, and it's about what's happening across our community. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Box. Yes, we love our hostel. If you want to put those out, you can. And does that QR code take them to a way to support you?
Yeah, to be honest.
I really wanted to use. Oh, good. Thank you. At least I'm not really short this time. That's nice. Usually that's the. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want to take this time to talk about the hostel, but if you're curious, we are working with developers on potential plans. There's nothing on paper, but we as a hostel board have been working hard every single week. So just because you don't see us causing a ruckus on social media doesn't mean we're not working hard. And the time will come that there will be a development plan for that space. I mean, the city has to fix it. And what we've heard so far is that they want to have us in the front space. So far, all the potential plans include the hostel in the front. And now, to be honest, it's on the hostel and the hostel board to come up with the business model that we can afford rent and stay in that space in the new way we will function. So the community aspect is a huge part of that. Please stay tuned. You can have a free, wait, this one's prettier. You can have a free window sign if you have a place to hang it. I got free stickers. Please scan the QR code. It's ways to donate, buy a lawn sign, write a letter to your legislator. We still need the support because there's still work to do, but please follow us online and feel free to talk to me or Lourdes after. She's another board member, and thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, and we'll put those in some acrylic frames so that they're around for people. So once again, thank you all for coming. I see a lot of new faces. Please feel free to introduce yourself to me, to other members of the team. If you want to learn more about Buffalo Art Studio, if you want to learn more about what's going on at the hostel, and then let's also remember the person that we want to keep front and center today, which is the lovely Sarah Jane Berry. All right, and there's a lot of food. Donation-based bar. If you're interested in purchasing any work, you can see any of us that work here. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you soon. Thank you.